Okay, what I've got here is some hydroponic beets actually, and why I'm growing beets is because I was told you can't grow hydroponic root plants, it's impossible, they will die. Well, to prove them wrong, I decided to grow some beets, and they seem to be doing really well. If you have a look here, you can see that they're really nice and healthy. And my system here it's a flood and drain system. What these are here, these are grow stones, and basically it floods and it drains every hour. And what happens is the plants are planted right into the stones themselves, and they're doing really well. Under here, if you look, I've got my reservoir with my nutrients, my water, etc. And I have a controller there which controls it, which I built in my last video. So that's what I got right now. And I think what I'm going to do a little bit later in this video, I'm going to pull some of these beets out and we can have a look at them and see if it's any good. Okay, now what I got here, it's called Grow Stone. It's basically what I'm growing the plants in. It's a new product on the market, and it looks like this. Basically, to me, they look like moon rocks because they're very light and they got holes in them. And the holes are supposed to be, they absorb moisture, so it takes in moisture. I'm kind of undecided about that because I think that the holes actually create a bit more algae than something like hydrocorals. But they seem to work pretty good so far, so we'll go with that for now. This is what I use for my grow table, and the reason why I use this is because it's much deeper than the stuff you can buy. And basically what this is, it's a cement mixing tray. It's used for mixing cement, and I bought this at Lowe's, so I'm sure you can find it too. It's pretty sturdy, pretty strong, pretty thick, and pretty cheap. I think I paid less than 20 bucks for it, and it's deep enough to grow any kind of root plant you can imagine. Believe it or not, you can grow carrots in here. You get the Danville shorts, which don't grow as long as regular carrots, and they would grow fine in here. Beets, basically whatever you want. So you can give that a try. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about my lighting system here. I have these UFO lights. This is the spec sheet for it, and I got them from China. They're fairly cheap, and for the price, I think they work really well. Now, here's what I like and dislike about them. If you look here, it says that it's rated for 90 watts, 1 watt bulbs. But the funny thing is if you take a meter to these lights, what you'll find is that they're actually drawing about 55 watts. So the total between the two lights that I have is about 110 watts. So how can they be 1 watt bulbs, doing 90 watts? Like, that's an impossibility. It's a lie. But having said all of that, when you read into how LEDs actually operate, they peak around 0.8 of a watt. So anything over that, you actually lose efficiency. So if you've got like 3 watt bulbs or 2 watt bulbs, they're actually less efficient than a 1 watt bulb. It's just the nature of the LEDs and how they operate. Now, the other thing that I've noticed too is that, like on this one here, it's red, orange, and blue. 7-1-1. That's the ratio of the bulbs that are in the light. Now, you can get them with all kinds of different bulbs, but really all you need is the red and the blue, because they are in the spectrum that the plant really needs. The other light bulbs can give the plant some help, because it's in, like a white bulb, the plant can really only absorb about 2% of the light. So you're actually better off to have a red or blue bulb than a white bulb. So there's a bit of a controversy out there. Some people say you need all these extra bulbs, some people don't. But what I do find is with this tricolored light, my plants don't actually grow as well as with the other light that I have, which is only red and blue. So I think there is a bit of a loss in efficiency with having all these different colored bulbs in it. Okay, I guess some of the other things I should mention about it is that it's rated for 30,000 hours That's the lifespan of it. And it's probably true. Like, it probably will go that long, but the problem is with these lights is that every year they start losing a bit of efficiency, so they put out less light. I don't know what the exact number is. Let's say it's 10%. So, after probably a couple years, maybe 5 years down the road, you're going to want to replace it anyway. I would think so. Now, one of the tricks that some of these companies do is that they'll build these lights and then they'll put in things like resistors and things just to waste electricity so that it will actually match up to the sheet right here. So when you put it to a meter, it'll be running, let's say, 90 watts, but guess what? You're just wasting electricity. And thankfully that these lights, they don't do that, but you have to watch out for that. Anyway, to sum it all up, I think it's a great little light. Really, what can you grow for 110 watts? Really, I've got a whole thing of beets growing. I think it's great. This is the first of the beets that I pulled. It looks really good, nice and healthy, fairly big leaves. And if you look at it, all the rocks stuck to it, so I'll have to clean that up. But it comes out really easy. And I might pull another one because I don't think one beet's going to be enough. And I'm going to see, maybe I can make a little bowl of soup out of it. I think that's enough for some soup.